Cal head coach Justin Wilcox. We'll go ahead and take questions. Get started with Jeff Ferrato. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Justin. Can you give us an update on Coin and also on Kekoa?
Kekoa likely will be back with us this weekend, and Coin right now it would be doubtful, and we'll have sounds like some more definitive news on Thursday.
So that's kind of been up in the air for a while, it sounds like. Are you hopeful that he'll be able to play again this year?
Hopeful, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it doesn't look like a season-long deal at this point?
Yeah, there's nothing, like I said, I think we'll have more to report on Thursday. There's still meetings going on between he and some specialists.
And how are you feeling these days?
I'm fine.
You still going to be on crutches for a while?
Yeah, like I said, this is a temporary inconvenience for me. Other than that, it's not impacting anything.
Glad to hear. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll go with Trace Travers from Rivals. Go ahead, Trace.
Jeff took my question about the crutches, but how, in looking over some of the film from Saturday, what did you see with regard to coverage in the pass rush that can be fixed up?
Well, it was shared. The poor play in the pass defense was shared really at every position. You know, we had some issues at corner where we can be better, safety, and even some veteran safeties and nickel, and some of our zone coverages, our inside linebacker, our play action reactions and responsibilities weren't good. And so it was, you take that, and then the number of passes that were thrown where we didn't affect the quarterback with either a 4 or 5 man rush. We ran a couple 3-man rushes, but a lot of 4 and 5 man rush, and we got to do a better job of winning a one-on-one up front to make life tougher on the quarterback. And
was there anything, I guess, a through line between the 4 pass interference penalties that you guys had?
Yeah, playing in the back end, there's got to be a sense of, and it's easier said than done, but you got to play with some calm. And good defensive backs will get to a position on the receiver or throughout the down, and kind of there's a clock in their head. They understand the timing of things, and just having a little bit more calm. And I think we have the guys that can do that. We just got to take the technique from practice and apply it to the game.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to David Bush. Go ahead, David.
Hi, Justin. In all 3 games, you've gotten off to a really fast start, and the offense has really moved. And then you've been outscored in the second half in every game. Is there a pattern there, something you could point? Is there a common thread in those things?
No, I mean, I know statistically exactly what you're talking about. I don't know if there's any one reason we're executing better earlier in the game. Some of that is what's new for the game plan, but we got to be able to sustain it, as we all know, for 4 quarters and potentially overtimes if needed. But I don't think it's not a conditioning thing. Guys are in pretty good shape. They're feeling good. We just have to execute better. And right now we're playing much better in the first quarter than we are the rest of the game.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll go to Jeff Ferrato. Go ahead, Jeff.
Justin, what do you remember about that crazy game up in Seattle 2 years ago with the long delay?
Oh, just I remember we were sitting in the locker room for 3 hours or so, and then we were needing to get the ball back in play within probably the next 30 to 45 minutes before things probably would be changing significantly.
Was the Washington coach yesterday suggested that there was some talk about whether the game actually could be canceled? Do you recall that, or did you think it was going to get in no matter what?
I remember that the athletic directors and the conference at the time, I believe the commissioner, were talking about different scenarios if we couldn't get started by a certain time. I don't recall all the different scenarios, whether it was going to be the next day or date in the future. There was just kind of anything and everything, but really all we were trying to do is get through the lightning and start playing again. And so fortunately we got to do that.
And considering all the circumstances, how long the delay was, the fact that you were on the road and all that, how pleased were you with your team that they could sort of put that aside and win the game?
Yeah, I think just, again, going back to focusing on what makes the difference between playing good football and not playing good football. And that's the next play. It's the technique and not getting distracted by things that you have zero control over. And so we need to do a better job of that with our own team right now. I thought that team did a pretty good job of it on that day, of not getting distracted and staying focused on what we were there to do. Unfortunately, we're able to finish the game and get a victory. But what I'm more concerned with is that we're doing that now and today with our players on our team, that we're focused on things that are going to help us play well and really not concerning ourselves with things that we don't have any control over.
And if I could follow up with what you've seen of Washington so far, just like you guys, they couldn't get through it, couldn't get a win their first two games, and then they scored a lot of points the other day. What are you seeing offensively and defensively from the Huskies?
Yeah, better and better each week. Got some players back that were maybe on the sideline for them. They're a talented group. I mean, you look at their offense, the offensive line, I think 4 of those 5 guys are all conference players that are returning, all conference players. Tight end's a very, very good player. QB, their skill at receiver, they're deep at running back. So they have weapons on offense. Last week really moved up and down the field at ease. And defensively, I think 9 out of the 11 starters are back. Some very talented players on their roster. They're going to be well coached. We know those coaches well, and you know some of them. And so they're going to be well coached and well prepared. So it's going to be a battle.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll go back to Trace Travers.
Yeah, I want to go back to the 2019 game for a moment. If I'm remembering correctly, you guys sent someone out to get peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for everybody, or stuff to make those?
Yeah, we did. That is correct. We knew it was going to be a long delay. And I think maybe I don't know what people thought we would do in the locker room. We had a couple things to go over, but not much football had been played, maybe 8 or 9 minutes, if I remember, if that, in the first quarter. So we had some meetings with them, but then it was, take their pads off and relax, because you can't sit there for 3 hours and bang your head against the locker. You gotta kind of come down, get something to eat. We knew it was going to be a little while. And then once we knew we were probably 30 minutes out, we started to get ourselves back in that rhythm. And that's all we did. Had some peanut butter and jellies and relaxed. And then when they told us we could play, we went back out there.
Gotcha. And with Washington now, one thing that they've done a lot of is run a lot of RPOs. Have you seen that on film as well?
Yep. Saw a lot of it this past week, and created some really big plays, run and pass. And they've done a good job with the RPO game. They'll also get into big personnel groups and run, different run schemes and play actions, some of that. So they do a good job with their schematics.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to David Bush with Bearing Center.
Yeah, could you talk a little bit about Jeremiah's development as a receiver and the breakout game he had on Saturday?
Yeah, I think he's got a really bright future. Jeremiah, since he stepped on campus, has been noticeable in the drills. I mean, I think we talked about that last year. He has a really good skill set. He's still learning a lot as a receiver, as a football player, but he's got a really, really strong skill set, and he's very, very coachable. I mean, he wants to be good, and he likes football and loves football, and loves being here and part of the team. He's just a joy to be around, and he's still, like I said, he's got a lot to learn, and each and every rep he's out there, he's learning something, which is exactly what you want. And really, really excited to watch him grow up as a person and a player.
Thanks.
Okay, it looks like Trace Travers has another question. Go ahead, Trace.
I want to. Lou got his first start on Saturday in the aftermath of watching film. How do you think he did?
Lou did some good things, and I think he just needs reps. He just needs reps, but I really thought he played competitively out there at the corner. He got himself in good position most of the time. And now it's going to be, the margins are between making the play and not. And he's going to make more and more, I think, the more comfortable he gets out there, because this is all brand new. He hasn't been here that long, but I'm really encouraged about his competitiveness out there. And he's got the right mentality, because playing corner, I mean, as you all could probably appreciate, everything's out there for everybody to see. And, the athletes you're covering are talented, and, you get put in some situations where you're one-on-one with them. And so it takes a certain frame of mind to be able to play that position. And I think Lou has that.
Okay, looks like Jeff Ferraro has another question. Go ahead, Jeff.
Just work for Pac-12 Network on your game this week and next week against WSU. And I wondered, do you know Shane at all? And are you excited that they have a Cal guy doing that job?
Yeah, I've got the chance to be around Shane, I guess a number of times now. And he also, when you're around our offices, there's a number of people that have been here for years and years and years. And he's left a lasting impression on the people here at Cal football, and really an enjoyable guy to be around. He's a fantastic player, as we all know, and now in the arena of the media, and sounds like he's doing great. And I know he has a job to do, so he has to be ride the line, and can't be a homer for the Bears, but we're glad he was such a great Cal player, and he's been an awesome representative for what our guys aim to be, professional on the field, great person. And so he, like I said, he's made a lasting impression here at Cal football.
You're way too nice. You're way too nice.
I was hoping that was going to be a good positive answer for you, Shane. Okay. Guys, we have one final question at the end, but anybody else with a question before then? Okay, we'll take a question from Brian Stites at KPIX Channel 5, and I think Brian's going to take your answer on mute because there's some background noise.
Hey, Justin, how are you? I got 3 on Luke Beckett. In your years as an assistant and a head coach, how many times have you come across a 7th-year guy?
I don't think I ever have. I've been around some guys who were older. I can recall a few guys who were older because maybe they went. One guy went to the military out of high school and ended up coming back to a JC and then ended up playing football. So he was older. Even Jamison Sheehan, who's a punter, he played professional or he was in the Australian rules football. So sometimes a mission guy would be older, but never have I been around somebody that's played in seven seasons.
The difference between him and the freshmen, I mean, those guys were in 6th or 7th grade probably. What's the maturity difference like?
It's like, Uncle Luke. We made that comparison early in our fall camp. We were getting ready for a team meeting. We were kind of sitting in there, and I think, before the meeting starts, there's anything and everything's being talked about. And so I think the birthdays were the conversation of the day. And so Femi Oladejo, who's a true freshman, number 43, I think his birthday came up, and then Luke walked in and said, "Luke, when's your birthday?" And then we started connecting, Femi and Luke, and the separation between those two guys. And it was just kind of a good laugh because when, Luke was here in 2015, as he was redshirting when Jared Goff was still playing, and Femi was just, over in middle school doing whatever he was doing. And now they're on the same defense, playing together.
And lastly, how tough was it for you to lose him last year, given all the weird circumstances with the season? And was there ever an expectation that you might be seeing him this year?
Well, it was when Luke made the decision to go elsewhere. It's because the Pac-12 had come out and said, we're not playing this season of 2020.
Right.
Do you remember that? So
Yeah,
the
yes, of
Pac-12
course,
says
yeah.
we're not playing. So Luke says, well, I want to play because I got 1 year left. And personally, I understood. Yeah, I get it, Luke. I support you. Let us know how we can help. I don't think anybody thought we were going to see a reversal. I mean, I don't know that anybody thought that was going to happen. So, so when Luke left, he was on good terms with us. We were wishing him well. We were trying to help him find a place to go. And then, of course, a month later, we do the U-turn and are going to play again. But by that time, he's already gone and playing somewhere else. So after the season finished, Luke finished playing at Boston College, and we just kind of kept in touch. And he said, hey, if we get a free year, I'd be interested in coming back. And so that's where it all began. Yeah.
Thank you.
You got it.
Okay, anybody else with the final question here? I'll give you 5 seconds to put something in the chat if you do.